Taglines are for salespeople. Today I'm going to put the Swift in my own name, and I'm going to try to learn Cliffs of Dover in one day. For those of you who have never seen this show before and have no idea what it's about, you're not alone. It's the pilot. Nobody knows what it's about. There might be math involved, but right now it's just lots and lots of notes on the guitar. I'll explain at the end. Cliffs of Dover is shredding like a chickens at a factory farm. It's a really good opportunity to work on a lot of the accelerated learning techniques I've been working on, so yeah, let's get into it. The challenge ahead is to perform a cover of Cliffs of Dover with 16 hours of practice only. And if I feel like I really convey the musical idea, if I really capture the vibe, I'll have accomplished the goal. And that's about it. It's time to get to it. Research. This looks hard. So the first thing I did was get the recording of the song. For real, I actually bought it. I got a tab and a MIDI file, read a bunch of forums to figure out how long it took most people to learn this guitar, and most of the answers were like 3 months, 6 months, forever. This song is impossible. I found a patch that sounded kind of like the Eric Johnson stuff. Okay, I didn't really find a patch. I just used the first one on my Pod HD500X, and it was perfect. Checked to make sure I had a guitar that was going to do the job. This is the only electric guitar I have right now. It's a $80 Rogue that I bought off a friend in high school. We nicknamed it FM for Fix Me. One of the pickups is loose. There's no 22nd fret or a whammy bar. I'm good to go. So what exactly do I mean by one day? Normally you're awake for 16 hours, 24 hours is technically a day, but staying awake all night to do this is kind of stupid because basically you're just going to get burned out. In any case, I'm too lazy to reschedule the 2 short appointments I have on Saturday anyway. I'm actually going to let there be 2 things that break up the day, but I'm going to take the hours from that and I'm going to redistribute a few of them to Friday night and to Sunday morning. Now this may sound like I'm cheating, but there's actually a special advantage bringing called sleep memory consolidation. Memories get consolidated while you're sleeping, especially motor muscular memories. So basically what I'm doing is I'm giving myself 2 sleep consolidation periods. I'm not really expanding the actual clock time I'm taking by that much, but I basically get a bunch of free practice just from sleeping. I'll still be doing this whole thing more or less over the course of a day, but I'll maybe spend a few hours Friday night and then a few hours Sunday morning just kind of finishing it. I'll decompress the process quite a bit, and I'll also get these kind of bonus periods, which are going to be, I'm really going to need them. The real challenge with this whole thing is just trying to keep that alpha state. If you start to lose your focus or start to get drained or start to get sick of what you're doing, it's just over. You have to keep your steam the whole time. It's all about momentum. The person I picked to advise me for this project, his name is Marshall Beaver. He's the lead guitarist for a band called Manic Pixie, and frankly, he's the best lead guitarist I know personally. And he's played this song before. Kind of the main sense I was trying to get was, is this even feasible? But he didn't really discourage me, which led me to believe, okay, this might be possible. But he also gave me some kind of unexpected advice.
The main thing I would suggest you focus on is the fluidity of his lines. Most rock and blues guys are much choppier. Visually, it reminds me of a waterfall. I would say that's even more important than getting every single note. If you can nail that feeling, that is going to be the most important thing.
That was actually really important because I was completely focused on the technicals, how am I going to learn all these bars? He just reminded me to think about the music. I may not play every single note, but if I get the idea of the music across, it really only matters if you convey the music. So that's the real goal. All right, 16 hours just started. I literally just got a half hour late from dinner, but I think I'm just going to start by going to the hardest passages first. This looks hard. All right, it's been about an hour and 8 minutes. I learned 23 out of 183 bars in 1 hour. If that's as bad as it gets, I think I might stand a chance of at least fitting all this garbage in my head. I'm about to get some sleep and see if I can get the hardest licks to kind of just percolate. Literally just rolled out of bed. Pinky's starting to hurt. Not too bad now, but I still got 14 hours to go. Give my brain a little break, feeling strong. So I literally just finished sequencing the whole thing. I definitely don't have it all memorized, but I've looked at all the notes of this song. That bitch. It's Body break. I can kind of fit it all in my head at this point, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to memorize it. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to string it together in a cohesive tempo. Bushes and berries. My brain's starting to get a little bit fried. I'm not worried about it yet, but yes, I knew this was going to be the hardest time. It's just long, long stretch where I'm just like plowing away. But when it's cold, it's usually dry, so usually the coldness and the dryness together are going to cause an even bigger change. A little bit like that. And now it's starting to get stressful. It's like, it's less than 2 hours until band practice, and I'm trying to get this thing with the metronome, and it's just not going there. You know what? I think I might get there, but it's like, if it does, it's going to be real freaking tight. Alright, now it is push time. I think I'm going to make or break this in this hour because I'm really starting to... My focus is starting to wane. So I just put the whole thing together slowly, but I did put the whole thing together. You know, reading the score at least, but I'm holding it together. I mean, it might make some kind of sense with some kind of speed. I don't know how fast it's going to get, but it's like, it actually... I got from beginning to end. It didn't fall apart, so okay. Alright, time to shut down and take a little break. One single cup of coffee, we're off to the races. Then I will pee on the platitudinous territory. 40 minutes left, it's coming down the wire. I'm really starting to get jittery. I'm trying to avoid it by doing other things and thinking about what I'm going to do after this, but I really got to push. Okay. There are 13 minutes and 57 seconds left on the timer. It's takes from here on out. In a way, in an abstract way, I kind of basically succeeded at learning the song. When I really got to the end, the performance really fell short. So now it's kind of back to normal life, but I'm trying to figure out what I took away from this. I was totally in the zone while I was doing this. And I also realized that if I hadn't approached it this way, there was no way I ever would have tried to tackle this piece. So many mental resources came to me that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And so if you think about it, I had 2 sleep consolidation periods over the course of the time that I worked on it, the first 16 hours. What if I just practice this a little bit before bed for 1 more week and see what I can do at the end of that? And I think the coolest thing about this was I totally rediscovered my passion for playing. I covered so much ground so fast. I didn't get as far as I thought I was going to get, but I almost look back and I'm like, it didn't matter. Like, I was totally changed by it. So what is the Swift equation really about? It's essentially about figuring out how you can use learning to make a change in your own life. So what we're going to be doing through the course of this show is exploring the science and the art of learning, but then also applying it to real problems that actually matter. So the first thing I really need to do is sit down and draw what I think the Swift equation is.